Wife went to the restroom, came back, and I had bought the car. So she claims she will never go to the restroom again. Back.
There are some places that truly take your breath away. The Vault of Scottsdale is one of them. Not only were we lucky enough to shoot a Cars and Coffee event at the Vault, but founder and curator Ron Evans sat down with us to give us the history behind this incredible facility and a private tour of these amazing cars. Thank you so much for having us here at the Vault.
Happy to.
Tell me how you conceived of this amazing place.
Well, it started with needing to have a bigger place to store my collection of cars. And then in talking with the architects, they said that the building could be twice the size that I was going to build. And the light bulb moment went off that I felt I could put a new spin on collector car storage. So it gave me a place to put my collection, which at the time was 15 cars or so, and all the signs and memorabilia I collected. I've always been a gearhead. Cars have been my passion since I was a little kid, so it made for a natural fit.
I heard a little rumor about one of the reasons why you started the Vault was because you felt like there needed to be some diversification in the car community.
Well, I had visited other car storage facilities in Scottsdale because I was out of room at the existing building I had was a smaller version of this. And as it worked out, I found this lot. So I wanted to create something that was different in the Valley, and people have responded. And
I get a real welcoming feeling here. A lot of that has to do with you and your staff.
That was my goal. I wanted it to feel like you walked in and this was just a bigger version of your own personal man cave. I joke about it. This is my man cave that I share with a few thousand of my closest friends.
So tell us more about the social aspect of things, what your members, what do they do here?
Yes.
They meet here.
A lot of them come every Friday and just hang out. They may have, a beverage. If a game's on, they'll watch some TV. Many of them are self-employed and work from home, so they'll work out of our conference room. They'll have clients meet them here. A lot of them own businesses, and this gives them a nice place to work. Not bad to walk around and look at some things when they want to take a break.
I'm sure it's pretty impressive.
We do regular F1 watching parties during F1 season. I like anything with racing. If it's got wheels and goes fast, I like it. But a lot of people prefer F1. We've had Super Bowl parties here, Indy 500 parties with some different car clubs around town that I belong to. So for me, it's about community and bringing like-minded people together and enjoy it.
As we've driven around, I've noticed how many beautiful cars are just on the streets, and I'm from Atlanta. If I see one of those cars, that's a rarity.
It is common around here. There's an incredible car community in Scottsdale. A lot of older people that used to own homes here and they lived somewhere else have retired here and brought their car collections with them. And a lot of younger people are business owners and they've, their daily driver is a Lamborghini or a McLaren.
It's pretty incredible. What do you foresee next for the Vault?
That's
do you have any big plans?
I can't always share everything I'm doing, otherwise the competition would know. But,
I see.
There are things that we're working on to expand. We're max capacity now with car storage. The events have kept us quite busy. We've done everything from a full fashion show for Scottsdale Fashion Week to a lot of corporate events.
Well, you've done such a great job, and I know that the community appreciates you for what you've done and what you've created here. And thank you so much for having us.
Oh, thank you. At heart, I'm just a car guy.
Yeah.
I'm a hardcore car enthusiast, and I want to share it with other people.
I love it. I would love if you would just walk me around, and can we you can tell me a little bit about your collection? Awesome. Give me the tour. Give me the grand tour, Ron.
Well, there's a lot to look at, a little bit for everybody. We'll start with this car up here is a recreation of the 1938 Alpha 158. Built by Ant Anstead that was on Wheeler Dealers and part of Bradford Motors building cars. He built that for Motor Trend Streaming. I walked into Barrett-Jackson and it was sitting consigned to Barrett-Jackson. Wife went to the restroom, came back, and I had bought the car. So she claims she will never go to the restroom again. Back in the day, those cars went 150 miles an hour with no seat belts, no safety devices.
Wow.
There's 3 remaining in the world and drives like a 1930s car. So a lot of fun. One of my bucket list cars is this 65 Shelby that I got about a year ago out of the 550 or so they built. But just love the piece of history that Shelby's were. We have a lot of classy cars like those. We have some supercars. The Ferrari 812 is my daily driver currently. 800 horsepower and a 211 mile an hour top speed. Nice daily driver.
What's the fastest car in here?
This one. Actually, this one and the Aston Martin we'll take a look at have the same 211 mile an hour top speed. The Aston happens to be my wife's as well. Oh. That was her 35th anniversary present.
You're a good husband, Ron.
Oh, thank you. I try.
You're doing good.
She's put up with me for 35 years.
Okay, yeah.
I gotta repay it. Down this row, this Aston Martin is the last year of the DBS, called the DBS 770. They built 300 for the world, and only 100 came to the U.S. As far as I know, the only coupe in Arizona.
That is beautiful.
There's 2 convertibles, twin turbo V12. Pam always picks the color, and then I spec all the carbon. That's the way we do things.
Ron, out of all the 60 cars here today, there was one that you wanted to show us and spend some special time with. I see why you wanted to show us this car. It's beautiful. So after you sold your business, you're like, this is it. This is what I'm getting.
It was for a couple of reasons. One, it had been 15 years since this car came out, yet to me the design is timeless because it was designed off of the Le Mans winning 66 original GT40. It's also Ford's first supercar, and much like the Carrera GT, the last analog car, no traction control, no ABS, no nannies, no rules.
No rules.
So you had to actually drive the car because if not, it will get you in trouble.
Yeah.
I love the design of the car. I love the performance. In '05, other than the Carrera GT, cars weren't going 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds. They didn't go 200 miles an hour. So there is an Easter egg hidden in this car. If you look at the headlight, it spells out 100 in the headlight for their 100th anniversary. And that was the Easter egg that Ford hid in this car and didn't really advertise it or tell people.
It absolutely looks like a spaceship. I mean,
it does, and it's almost 20 years old. Next year will be 20 years for this car.
I am an interior freak, so give me a tour of this interior.
Well, it's not the fanciest in the world. The buckets are one-piece carbon buckets.
I'm gonna be the envy of a lot of folks watching at home, I'm sure. Okay, so these doors are so unique. First off, why are these doors designed the way that they are?
So this would give the drivers able to get in faster. If you come from the side, you can literally jump in the seat without having to duck your head. The one thing you'll notice, look right in front of you, what do you see in large, very large? You see a tachometer. As an afterthought, to your right, is the speedometer. So the speedometer was an afterthought. They didn't have those in the race cars, but they added it because obviously for a street car, they required it. They just stuck it over at the far side. So you don't really watch or pay attention to that because you want to know what RPM you're shifting at.
Ah, it's a race car. Great job, Ford. So let's go back there to the engine.
This engine was a supercharged 5.4 liter engine, developing 550 horsepower, 500 foot-pounds of torque. I can attest that it does do 205 miles an hour.
How did that feel?
Very good, very stable, just like you're doing 90 down the freeway.
Really?
Yes, it does. It was built and engineered, over-engineered very well.
Do you get people stopping, wanting to take pictures?
I do. I love having kids get in the seat and take pictures with it. It's about building the next generation of car community.
Yeah.
You don't do that if you keep people from ever seeing them. My wife and I both believe a lot in giving back. We recently raised $50,000 for Make-A-Wish by having a track day. I worked and partnered with some other people to get the track to donate the time, to get people to donate the food, and we raised $50,000 for Make-A-Wish. So anytime you can have car enthusiasts get together, they're a very giving community.
Great job.
Just a car guy.
You're more than that. You're more than that. You're creating community, and that's a big deal. So thank you so much, Ron.
You're welcome.
Appreciate your time.
Thanks for coming.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us. Hopefully we'll be back.
Yep, anytime.
Cars and Coffee Exposed, presented by Urable, the #1 rated app for automotive detailers. If you want the best customer experience from your detailer, make sure they're powered by Urable. Subscribe now and never miss an episode of Cars and Coffee Exposed.